button pressed. We're live. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Scallywags Sketchcast, bringing you two artistic titans of scallywag proportion. Tonight is... I do try. I do try to make it interesting for the
It
folks
just
at home.
makes me imagine like a bunch of pirates having a dick measuring contest. like which one of us has the biggest scallywag proportions?
So we know it's still not too late to change tonight's topic.
Wow, I just realized I can't do a pirate accent.
No, you cannot. That being said, tonight our artists will be in one corner, Obsidian Abnormal.
We're not competing.
In the other corner, somebody who can actually hype up the Angry Zen Master, the chairman of Super Art Fight, the one, the only, Jamie Noguchi.
Yeah.
In this total non-competitive, non-combat situation, okay.
And I will be doing the blow-by-blow, the play-by-play, and declaring the winner. I'm Darren J. Genrin. Spoiler, the winner will be me.
You're fired. You're fired.
We have an hour and 30 minutes on the clock. Gentlemen, do we have a topic for tonight's Sketchcast?
I believe Jamie went with, Happy Tree?
Happy trees.
Happy little trees. We're pouring one out for Bob Ross tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Is it like the anniversary of his death or something?
No, not at all.
Not even close.
Not even close. How dare you not know this?
Should I have memorized his?
What would be great is that if today were the anniversary of Austin Kincaid's death, and we're just doing Bob Ross just to say fuck that guy. No? Wait,
No.
who the hell is Austin Kincaid?
I don't know.
That's right. Thus the silence.
Wait, what the hell is Kincaid's first name?
I don't know.
The painter of light douche.
Vermeer?
I shouldn't be speaking ill of the dead. Anyhow,
Why
Vermeer?
not? I've always been annoyed by that. Like not
What?
speaking, don't speak ill of the dead. I've always been annoyed by that. Like,
Are we starting?
yes, tree
We
folk.
are-
Let's actually hit start on the clock and start drawing, right?
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, and we are starting the clock after staring at it for a while.
I've always been annoyed by that. Like, why is it not allowed to speak ill of the dead? A dead guy could have been a douchebag. I mean, it's like...
Especially when he was dead. Like, could there be a way to be buried and interred in such a way that's just pure douche?
Absolutely. Like, what about those people that leave, like, a will that has, like, a bunch of requirements?
That's totally going to be me.
I would not doubt it. But
New
yeah,
topic, ladies and gentlemen. Douchiest thing that we can do for a will requirement.
Like, imagine this. You live in Bolivia, which is pretty bad to begin with. I'm sorry if we have any Bolivian listeners, but you know where you live. Anyway,
Let's
you
go
live in
get us.
you live in Bolivia. You die, and your will, says bury me at sea. Like that is just douchebag.
Bolivia is a landlocked country, correct?
Well, not anymore technically, but yeah.
Oh, that's right. They got that little tiny easement. Is that right?
Yeah, they got like this little piece of ocean now, but still, that up to a certain point of history would have been like a really douchebag move to just okay, bury me at sea, and your whole family was like, how much did we really love him, really?
Come on.
Yeah, come on, Uncle Dern was a douche anyway. Let's not.
Uncle Dwayne was an asshole.
El tío Derno was the guy was a douche. Let's not bury him at sea. And
By the way, first comment here, we actually have somebody putting the bet down that Jamie would win in a fight.
of what?
I'm going to assume physical, and in that case, they would be 100% correct.
Against whom?
Against you.
Jamie would win in a fight against me?
Yes.
Against the one of us three that is trained in combat?
Well, yeah, I'm also going off of your lifelong career record as an MMA fighter.
Oh, shit.
Well, some fighting is better than none.
As the career punching bag for your gym, yes.
Yeah, and that was just in MMA. Remember, I
Yes.
do have other martial arts under my belt.
There is that. There is that fair amount there. Let's check in on Jamie's happy little tree here. Whoa, wow. That was a weird dripping sound.
That was strange. That wasn't me.
That was my tea sloshing right in front of the microphone, and it made such like a perfect splash. I am actually my fingers are now tea covered because of it. So I'll
Nice.
be sucking on my fingers for caffeine.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
delightful.
It's hot.
So hot.
This is how we do it.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, those commenting on the YouTube channel, feel free to. If you have any questions, you can put them on the YouTube. I will also realize I may have forgotten to turn on the Q&A app,
Again?
and I can't actually turn that on after we've started, so we will only be taking comments through the questions in this broadcast.
Again.
Again, I really need to pin a note to my chest and say,
There's a
hey,
Q&A app on this thing?
yeah, it's on the little director thing.
Pin the note to your dick. Maybe you'll see it easier.
Yes, my scallywag points there. Yes.
Yes. So do we have any questions on
Let's wait for those. They'll come when they come. I still want to go off on dickish things to be in your will. I actually do want to address this because this is something that routinely pisses me off. Anybody out there that says something about, like, let's spread my ashes at, like, Pirates of the Caribbean, fucking don't. I hate it when people do that.
That is so tacky, by the way.
One, it's
you mean
tacky.
like Disneyland?
Yeah, if you take your ashes, like, takes ashes on, like, a Disneyland ride and try to discreetly pour the ashes into the water of, like, Pirates of the Caribbean, honestly, I'm the type of guy that should want to do that, right? Like,
Yeah,
love
you
my
are.
Pirates, love my Disneyland, Pirates of the Caribbean, kind of a holy spot for me. Every single time someone does that, they instantly shut down the ride, make it miserable for like a whole hour to a half hour or some amount of time where they have to get everybody off the ride, they have to go in, turn on all the lights, clean that shit up. It is in no way a nice way for your remains to be treated posthumously. And they will catch it every single time. Like, when you're on the ride, you may think that you're, like, in the dark and not being seen. You're being watched.
Spooky.
Yeah.
They
But
got their
still.
cameras on.
But still, I don't know. I mean, I have absolutely no compassion for people that, like, if some relative of yours says, like, when I die, I want this or that, I have no compassion for the people that actually get involved in that shit because dude's dead. Like, really. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, just put him wherever and get on with your lives. Dude's dead.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's just like... how can I bother people once I die? Oh, yes, let's see.
I do like something that was in the... why are we on the clock? Go back to there. Something that was actually in my wife's grandmother's will was a requirement of that after she dies, do a tiny, tiny funeral, wait a month, and then do the memorial service. And that was a very nice move, I think, because it gave everyone a chance to privately grieve and then actually come in and memorialize later. And it was kind of a fun party situation.
Oh, here in Colombia, it's like very easy to be a dead douchebag. Because here, some people still have a custom called velorio, right? And a velorio is, I believe you guys call it a wake?
Yes. Okay.
Where basically you just sit around and look at the corpse for a while, I guess.
That culturally changes.
Depends, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, like an old tradition is that wakes here can be called novenas, and they last 9 days.
Holy fuck.
So, I mean, most people don't do that anymore, but every now and then you get, like, that asshole that dies and asks for them to, like... I was listening to a story this week about some asshole that apparently believes that once you die, your spirit doesn't leave your body until, like, I don't know how many days later, like 6 or something.
Jesus.
So apparently she's demanding from her family that when she dies, they cannot bury her until at least 6 days later, and therefore her wake must be 6 days long. That's just that's just horrible. That's just plain selfish.
So just staring at the body?
Well, unless you want to play games with it, I guess. you could always like, okay, you know.
Well, I mean, there's some Weekend at Bernie's. Come on.
Oh God.
How great would that be if that was actually a will requirement that you must Weekend at Bernie me for at least 3 days?
Well, look at it this way:
Dude, smell, dude.
if this is a person that believes that your spirit does not leave your body until 6 days later, and therefore you cannot be buried until 6 days later, I'm pretty sure they're not exactly the Weekend of Bernie's type of people. You know, I have my doubts on if they would actually.
Why 6 days? Like, why is that?
I don't know. I don't know. It's, you know how it is with beliefs. People just have them. You know, and you apparently we have to respect them and stuff like that. But
no, fuck it.
it's just, you know, if you're a nice person and you're dying, okay, listeners, here's the thing: if you're dying, the least you can do is go away as a nice person, and at least try not to make everybody else's life miserable. You know, just go do your thing, whatever it is you do when you die.
Oh, this is bugging the hell out of me. Are you cut and pasting?
No, I'm doing a technique. It's called puppet warp. Check it out. If you pay attention for a minute, I'll show you.
Well, we've been looking in on your camera for a bit.
Well,
so
okay.
Take us through this.
What you do is basically, you're since trees are so random, and they're shapes that really, I mean, there's probably some method to them and all that, but you want to kind of keep the randomness to it. And
by take us through this, I mean have technical difficulties where it looks like you just froze up.
Oh no.
Yes, he definitely did.
No.
So we're going to check in with Jamie for a bit here. Jamie, looks like you decided to spend some time on your background and just kind of touch it up a little there.
Yeah, if I'm doing a digital painting, I try to put my character in a background and work on the foreground character. Just 'cause.
Okay. Good use of time. So, what would be the most dickish thing that you would want done in your will?
Well, I'm trying to think. Man, I don't know.
I mean, I always hear the stories about I want to be buried face down so everyone can kiss my ass.
I guess I would want like a constant loop of like all my favorite rap songs.
Just do the hip-hop funeral?
Yeah, like a constant loop at my gravesite. At like a very specific volume level, so it's just, you know, you're not quite sure. You can hear it from far away, but you're not quite sure what you're hearing, kind of thing.
So
like,
basically, your tombstone would be like it would be whatchamacallit, John Cusack from Say Anything, just holding the boombox up.
Yeah, pretty much.
And just slowly playing stuff for you.
Yeah. I think that's the dickish thing I could come up with.
All right. While I'm doing this, I am desperately trying to fill and note the fact that, yes, O has definitely gotten booted out of the Hangout.
Oh, man.
Not through our own doing here. I have not yet decided that I'm done with him yet, so I'm just kind of clicking through and trying to remind myself, how do I add somebody into the Hangout while I'm in it? There it is.
Yeah. That's tough.
Oh. And, of course, he has found his way back.
Yep, apparently the connection just dropped.
You know, I was kind of worried that was going to happen on my end, because, or even possibly Jamie's end, because we got a little bit snowed on this weekend.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a snowstorm right now.
Yes.
Well, but, you know, Colombia beats snow.
Just that whole Colombia.
Yeah, we beat snow.
Yeah, we have a snowstorm, you have a Columbia.
We are world famous for our coffee, our women, and our bad internet connections.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
Come to Colombia.
Share your screen already.
Share my screen. Oh!
I'm purposely keeping the camera on Jamie for you right now, so that
Okay.
All right, and we're back.
So when did I cut out? When did you lose?
Literally the first sentence in, you're talking about how trees were random.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, trees are not actually random, but the thing is, you can't really expect to be like. Sometimes when I mean, a tree might look a little bit planned. It might look, not as spontaneous as nature tends to be. So what you do is you use that technique I was using to kind of twist the branches around, called puppet warp, and with that you can just start like the basic form of your tree, and just work off of that. Just kind of see where that takes you, and it's kind of a way of if you saw me like from the very beginning with all the abstract colors and stuff like that, basically. It's kind of a very experimental way of starting your image and just seeing where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the technique I'm using today. It's a very random technique, and it's a lot of fun.
So you're cutting and pasting. Got it.
Wow, you
No, I was not listening.
Wow. Okay. So wow.
I am trying to hold this podcast together.
You don't do a very good job at that. So the least you could do is listen.
That's not required.
Well, then you could at least hold the podcast together.
Okay, I'm just going to take a point away from you and give 3 points to Jamie.
Wow, that would be awesome if not for the fact that I'm the other guy running this show. So yeah.
We got an hour and 15 left on the clock. We were kind of... I think we've beaten the death topic to death at this point. Is that fair and terrible to say? Because we do actually have a question.
I prefer questions.
Yes. One of our listeners is saying that he is looking to start starting some Dungeons and Dragons with friends, and what's some good advice not to look like an idiot in his first session?
So I'm assuming he's the dungeon master.
And actually, the weird thing is I think we both read that with our own assumptions, because when I first read it, I thought that he was going to be a player. So I tend to look at things as a player, and you tend to look at them as a dungeon master. So I think we should answer it both ways.
Well, that sounded horrible, but yeah, sure. Well, why don't we just let him say what he's going to be?
Oh, well, we could do that. But also, for other listeners, I think we can answer it in both directions. Is it really so hard to give advice to would-be players of D&D or other RPGs to not look like an idiot? Or do you have an answer for dungeon mastering? Step one,
it's
don't
not
call
that.
it
It's
dungeon
just
mastering.
that, I mean, well, it's not that. It's just that, like what is it like that you're afraid of about like looking like an idiot? How there's not really much you can do wrong. It's a role playing game. I mean, there's
like roll the dice wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like the best you can do to like not look. You see, the difficulty for me in this question is like, what is it that you consider looking like an idiot? You know, it's not. I mean, it's an open game. It's the kind of thing where you just can do whatever you feel like and all that. I can tell you as a dungeon master, like what kind of questions from my players annoy me. But if you're all new, like, or you're just a new guy, like okay.
What type of questions as a DM annoy you?
One of the questions that annoys me the most as a DM is questions asking, "Can I do this?" Basically, it ruins immersion. It makes it very clear that we're playing a game. It's supposed to be completely open and all that. So basically, there is no "Can I do this?" or "Can I do that?" You can do anything. So every single time a person asks, "Can I do this?" or "Can I do that?" it kind of ruins the immersion. If the dungeon master is doing a good job and putting you all in the game and all that kind of stuff, That question really is not required. So that really kind of ruins the immersion for me as a dungeon master and the rest of the players every single time a person asks if they can do this or that. On the other hand, not being aware of your character and your character sheet, what he or she has, and the abilities, like not really knowing your character, that is also very annoying. It doesn't make you look like an idiot. It's just very annoying, you know. Kind of like, okay, you forget that you have some equipment, or you're not aware of what your character can or cannot do, and stuff like that. So that's annoying, and that's pretty much it. Like, if you got a nice group of friends, if you got like a cool group of people, and you're new, and they're like experienced players, they'll just be happy to take you through it. And if you're all new, then you're all just going to look like idiots, and nobody's going to be an idiot.
Okay. Jamie, I do want to throw a couple questions at you on this topic, and I might out you right now as a non-RPG geek or as an RPG geek. Have you actually ever done a Dungeons and Dragons campaign or something similar?
Yeah, it's been a while, and there was a group that tried to get something together in college. And it worked for like the first 2 nights, but then like the next couple nights was us spending time figuring out like relationship drama for one of our players. So
wait. I have to ask, relationship drama inside the campaign?
No, unfortunately. It was like real life relationship drama, and so that kind of killed our campaigning, and I never got back to it. So it's been way too long for me. So.
Is that something that, like, on the to-do list of you doing 5,000 things, is that ever something that you like want to get back into?
Not really. I mean, I don't have time.
It is a big time consumer. It's something that I've had to put on the shelf for a couple of years myself. Yeah.
It is, and the thing is, you get, I mean, nothing is quite like it, but you do get some options that are at least a little bit more practical. Like some video games do at least give you the role-playing game satisfaction. It's not quite the role-playing game, but you can at least, you know, kind of scratch that itch a little bit, so to speak.
I would like to say probably it was the second campaign that I ever played in was probably the most noob mistake I ever made, and I still to this day feel bad that I made it. At one point, I tried to look at another player's character sheet.
You make it sound like you committed a crime.
It felt like I committed a crime. The thing is we had just finished a big boss battle. We had split up the loot, and there was something that I kind of wanted as loot for my character. I was playing as a fighter, and the other character was playing as a barbarian warrior. I can't remember if they're actually just called barbarians or warriors or something like that. But
they're two different things, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, it might even have, like, he'd been playing.
But that does fall into
years.
the who cares category. So
right.
Anyway.
Well, there may have been a lot more off-the-table stuff happening that I was not aware of at the time, and I try to look at his thing, like, just because we were threatening to wrestle each other, and I was getting ready to make a grapple check, and he was threatening to split my head open because he felt that would be in character for him, since he was a chaos character, and he was actually basing all of his decisions off of dice rolls, which at times was very fun and amusing. But then he suddenly decided to give up the dice roll and just try to kill my character. When, like, again, this is my second ever campaign. My first one lasted all of like a month and a half, so this is a very early reroll for me. And we had been meeting for maybe like 2 months at this time. He just completely snaps, goes into a nicotine-induced rage on me, tears his sheet in half, storms out of the room, and just gives up on it. And that kind of killed that campaign at that point. It's like, yeah, especially since in that one, I think, was the DM his wife? No, his wife was one of the other player characters. But it was one of those, suddenly everything in the room just was way too awkward to try to keep that campaign going. And I still take the blame because, I dared try to... in other types of games, I'm very power gamery. I like to know what my odds and stats are, and I just didn't know all the full rules and how exactly the dice and numbers of D&D worked, and I cared more about that side of the game than I did about the role-playing side.
Well, don't take this the wrong way, Dern.
Yeah.
Which is a clear, when somebody says, don't be offended, I mean no offense, I'm just about to offend you.
Yeah.
You're about to be offended, Dern.
Yeah.
Not to be racist, but...
But you specifically, from what I know of you, which is not as much as some people, but more than a lot of people, you shouldn't play tabletop role-playing games.
No, I really shouldn't.
Because you are not just a power gamer. You have a lot of trouble, and I'm not saying this like go fix this, no. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of trouble not being right. So
yes,
I can easily
agree with
see
that.
any campaign with you devolving into just a lot of arguing over the simplest bullshit.
I'm not. Fuck it, I am a rules lawyer. But yeah, when the rules are so in flux like that and so loose and fluid, it can bother me a lot. And when we're sitting around basically making it feel a little bit too much like an improv group that is just waiting to strike it big, that can bother me. Now, D&D Minis, a game that basically just takes the D&D engine, specifically spells out on cards exactly what each character can do, and gives them point values, and lets you actually just play the strategic side of the game alone with none of the role-playing elements of it. Fucking love that game.
Yeah, that sounds boring as shit. But I mean, you definitely sound like you're more suited for something where, there's not a dungeon master that can basically just make up his own rules on the fly, which is one of the main aspects of D&D, that you can just, whatever the dungeon master says goes. So
right.
Even if it's not in the rule book, if the dungeon master says so, basically it is the job of a good dungeon master to just do whatever it takes to make the game work and make it fun.
I would like to try doing dungeon mastering at some point. I think I could do pretty well at that.
Yeah, but then you'd have to deal with people like you, and that's, again, not something I think you would be very good at.
Well, that is a valid point, yes.
Yeah, it's
especially
because there's always a rules lawyer. There is always a rules lawyer.
Oh, you've met most of the people that I would game with.
Yeah,
I think you've
that.
met Ralph, and you realize I specifically love gaming with these guys because we're all assholes.
Yeah, but you see
Yes.
that's a big difference between board games and role-playing games and those kind of games. And it's that in the board games, the rule book makes the decision. In a tabletop role-playing game, the DM makes a decision. So that's the main issue there.
Yeah, I don't see you not being the DM, Dern.
And that's the problem, is that everybody that I would play with thinks very much like me, so that's generally a bad idea. Yeah. I mean, we like playing competitively, and it would be odd to have the DM be actively competing against the players. Yes.
Yeah, I really couldn't see you, harmonizing in a role-playing game. Yeah. You're better suited for other things,
game designing,
shuffleboard maybe. That would be a good pick.
No. Give me games like Mage Knight, to a much lesser extent, Games Workshop. I get a little bit tired of the sheer cost of that game. Straight up board games with strategy built into them. And actually, I really do enjoy making my own rules and making my own games now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels terrible to say it that way.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
Yes.
See?
Yeah, I definitely rest my case. It
So
just
I think, by the way, our original questioner, he has pointed out that he does plan on being a DM, but he did want to hear it from both sides. So again, I was right.
you see.
I win.
And as I was reading today in this some stupid article that I found about like 50 things you have to learn that will make your life easier, and number 50 made me.
Fucking articles. Ugh.
Yeah, I hate them, but number 50 didn't make me think of Dern. Because number 50 was refusing to acknowledge that you're wrong does not make you right.
Now, that I will disagree
which could
with.
easily have a dedication to you.
I will disagree with that. That should not remind you of me. I will admit that when I am proven wrong. I will be salty as fuck about it, but I will admit when I am wrong.
Think about what it takes for you to prove that you're wrong.
It doesn't take much. I will look it up, and I will get so angry. And the weird thing is I won't actually be angry at the person that corrected me. Like, a lot of people will assume that's what's happening, and that's not the case. And please don't correct me for the grammatical error that I just made in that sentence where I was explaining this. But I'm mad at the source of information that taught me it incorrectly originally.
Thanks, Obama.
Pretty much. It's one of those situations where I will try to then go back, pinpoint where did that factually incorrect information come from, why do I have it wrong in my head.
Yeah.
I like to be right, and I also like to, be educational.
Yeah, you're not looking good. Why don't we take another question?
We have none.
We have none?
There are no more questions.
Ah, damn.
There is only Zool.
I don't know what that is.
Yes, you do.
I do.
There are no questions, only Zool.
Yes. Are you the gatekeeper?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is as good a time as any to say, like, I love Ghostbusters, but I've only seen it like twice.
I have to put you on mute. Oh, you've earned this.
You can't do that. I am
We're-
the other half of this show. You can't mute me.
Okay. We'll bring you back now.
Dern, you cannot mute me. I am the other half of this show.
2 times? What was wrong with your childhood?
Nothing really. I mean, I just saw it once when I was a kid, and I saw it more recently as an adult. And I mean, there's very, very, very few movies that I will willingly watch over and over and over again. And you know, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one here that thinks that way. There's just some things I saw them, I enjoyed them, and that's about it. That's as far as it goes for me.
Oh, this is painful, man. I had saw it at least 20 times before I was in first grade.
I don't really give a fuck. Like,
I could complain about it. I could cry, and you could just ask me who am I going to call, and I wouldn't be able to call anybody because you sucko.
no, I mean, I saw it. I liked it. I enjoy it. I enjoy Ghostbusters stuff, and I had Ghostbusters toys.
Yeah.
But like,
Ghostbusters
I don't.
were the real Ghostbusters because those two cartoons are vastly different.
I saw them both.
Yeah. I would refuse to watch Ghostbusters.
I couldn't watch it like you guys did, basically because I didn't really have that easy access to stuff. You know, I basically just watched whatever was on here. But still, you know, it's I like Ghostbusters. I think it's awesome. But if I had to go with like stuff from my childhood that I would watch over and over and over again, Ghostbusters would not make the list. It's there's other stuff from my childhood that I would vastly prefer over Ghostbusters.
I gotta ask, of the stuff from your childhood, would the Wheeled Warriors be something that you have to rewatch?
Oh man.
Unfortunately, I love the Wheeled Warriors so much that I know enough about them to know that there's really not that much available of them.
About 66 episodes.
That's really not that much.
Not much. They basically that's 2 seasons, and
And that is definitely one of those that I have not seen again as an adult, out of fear.
I feel that.
And you know what I'm afraid of, right? Like
that maybe our love of this is false.
Yeah, that maybe it's just not that good. Because like I used to fucking love Silverhawks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And when I saw Silverhawks again, I hated me as a kid.
Because I'm like dumbass.
Yeah, I was like, you suck, dude. Like, really? You like this? Like, oh man, what's wrong with you? Like that space cowboy has a musical note firing guitar, and as awesome as that sounds, it's not awesome. Yep. It's not awesome.
Yep. No, it's not.
And yeah, you know, Silverhawks made me afraid of so many things. Another one that I watched more recently in my adulthood, and also like was not that good, and it didn't ruin it for me because I still love it. But Centurions?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that sucked.
Except the character designs are still pretty awesome.
But it's just that I don't know what happened in later seasons. There's probably like a corporate reason for all the changes they did with Centurions. But later on, when they started adding like other characters from different ethnicities, holy crap! Did that show take a turn for the bad? And the
not necessarily because of the characters of other ethnicities.
No, it's just that they did it so
they were
wrong.
bad characters. Yeah.
No, and they did it like so. I know it's the '80s, and you can't measure offense like by today's standards. But holy shit, even by '80s standards, they were pushing it.
Yeah.
It's just wow. So yeah. So like the Wheeled Warriors is one of those that I just leave alone. I don't touch that stuff.
Yeah. But on that topic of stack and attack, one of the things I forgot to bring up on my Black Friday success list, I now have on DVD every episode of the Wheeled Warriors.
Oh my god.
I'm terrified of it, but at the same time, it calls to me.
Where did you find that?
Amazon had it as one of their lightning deals. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, stack and attack.
Who owns that?
Who owns Wheeled Warriors?
Yeah.
I'm guessing Dick.
That still exists? Dick still exists?
I don't know. Who owns Deke?
Yeah.
Deke. Like, come on, we're all kids here. It's Dick.
Yeah.
That company is named after a penis.
Like, when you were a kid, you laughed at that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah. I am currently checking up the Wikipedia of Deke Entertainment. You know, givers of Inspector Gadget, Real Ghostbusters, Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century, and Captain Planet and the Planeteers.
Nice.
I thought Captain Planet and the Planeteers was oh shit, what am I thinking of here? Well, I didn't recall it being from Deke. That is another one of those that I saw, but even as a kid watching Captain Planet, I was aware that it sucked.
Oh yeah.
So like I used to see it all the time, and I'm not ashamed to admit, I was sexually aroused by
Mati.
No.
Damn
no,
you, Noguchi,
worse.
for beating that to me.
No, it's worse. I was
That's
sexually
right.
aroused by the villain that had like the scarred face and stuff.
Yeah, that was hot.
Yeah, I think that's where my scar fetish comes from. Because yeah, I have a scar fetish.
DHX Media currently owns most of the Deke Entertainment library.
Okay, I've never heard of them.
I know I've heard of stuff that they do, and so I'm like really quickly Like I've seen their thing before, and so now I'm trying to figure out why, because I'm looking at a giant ass list of stuff that they do, and none of it is. Oh yeah, okay, there's that one.
Which one?
Yeah, they
we're
do
not
My
seeing
Little
your
Pony.
screen.
My
Oh.
Little Pony: Friendship is Magic.
Oh.
That would be why Darren recognizes DHX.
You know, I am so thankful that My Little Pony fandom kind of calmed down a bit. Because holy shit, it was getting to be a little bit too much.
That was because it was on hiatus. The episodes are back. They're gonna pick back up.
Oh shit, you Americans and your hiatus.
Sorry.
Holy fuck.
I guess also they might. I might know them from the Chica show, which is a kids thing that I watch too.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
DeviantArt's gonna get all pervy again.
Yeah, pervy for ponies. I just no. Like, I really wish that there were a better division of the fandom. I have problems with this. Like, they're dudes like me, and also 10-year-old girls like me, that just like the show and aren't watching it for any sexual reasons. And I would rather that just be the fandom right there.
But you know, we're not gonna brony this show up. Do we have
No,
any
we're not.
questions?
Uh,
I don't know if Jamie's a brony, but
still not.
No, I've never gotten into it.
No.
I like you better.
He says that now. Give him
When-
5 years.
Well, yeah, I mean, Hazel might get into it, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but she
it's,
whatever.
it's targeted for her.
Yeah.
It is actually for her. Although, to be fair, it is rather nicely unisexual, and Frankie does love the hell out of it. So,
That's cool. I feel like
Yeah.
it's age appropriate, you know?
Oh, did I just? Am I wrong here, or did I just say we weren't going to talk about it anymore?
no, you're
I
right.
recall.
But I could bring it back to D&D and note that they do use a lot of the Wizard of the Coast D&D elements because it is the same company.
Really?
It's Hasbro, yeah.
Yeah.
Hasbro owns Wizard of the Coast and My Little Pony and Transformers.
My Little Pony.
The world has changed.
Yep. And way back in the way back, Owen and I actually worked for Hasbro.
Yeah.
And we're probably not going to talk about that right now.
No.
Hey, let's change the topic entirely. I mentioned this in the intro, Jamie. You're a guy who does a thing.
What?
A little thing called Super Art Fight.
Oh, yeah.
Are we going to talk about Super
Oh
Art Fight?
yeah, I did that.
Oh, yeah.
This was your guys' 5th year, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh, so we are. Okay.
What?
I was just asking, are we going to talk about Super Art? Oh, it looks like we are. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I mean,
Super
we can talk about so many things, but okay, yeah, sure.
No, we've never talked about Super Art Fight with Jamie. Like, last time he was on, we talked about Yellow Peril, his amazing webcomic, which has never missed an update. Updates 3 days a week.
Why don't we
and-
talk about something more interesting, like Jamie? Now you're coloring your comic. Tell us about that.
Actually, that's a good point. I'm not saying
Coloring my
that
comic.
Super Art Fight is not interesting, but you did bring color into your comic.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I thought it was like, oh, I'll do it when I get to a point where I could do this as a career, go full time. It'll be my thing. Like, oh, now I'm full time. I do this all the time. I can do color, but that's gonna take too long. So
Mm-hmm.
I decided to follow my own advice and just fucking do it. So
Fascinating.
that's why I've been doing color, and I felt like doing an arc in a strip club would be a good use of color and lighting and things like that. So.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I love how you just decided to, randomly make one of the locations a strip club.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Was it
webcomics.
random?
Hmm?
Was it random, really?
How random was it?
I mean,
Actually,
yeah.
let me ask it this way. A lot of the locations in Yellow Peril are actually based off of real-world locations that you frequent.
Yeah.
How much research went involved into this?
Sadly, I didn't have any empirical research to base the strip club off of.
Okay, so now that we're like doing confessions, like I only seen Ghostbusters twice, and I really don't feel a need to watch it again. And I think that's the most of the confessions we've had today.
Dern is a terrible D&D player.
That wasn't a confession. We actually just told you.
Well, yeah, but
yeah, like.
okay.
I'm
also never wrong.
I've never been to a strip club. Never in my life.
Well, we're gonna have to change that when you go to Kineticon.
And I was just about to say, it's really one of those things that I have never done and don't really see myself doing.
Jamie, why did Kineticon get suggested as the one?
Well, it's because it'll be the place where we'll be in the same place. Like,
I'm just trying to I don't associate Connecticut with the best of strippers, and I could be wrong on that.
I don't know either, but there's nothing else to do in Hartford, so.
Yes.
Oh, that's got to be sad for your city.
Well, there is a movie theater immediately across from the convention center, which is where we got to see Pacific Rim this year.
So good.
Yep. So there was that. Interestingly enough, there was actually a fake news story that I was absolutely pissed off when I found out it was fake. That theoretically, to coincide with DragonCon, there was going to be the opening of a nerd strip club, which was going to specialize in burlesque and nerdy stripteases.
Nice.
Yes, and it turned out to be a completely fake story, so there was just sadness.
And pain.
That makes me sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never been to a strip club, and it's really one of those things that I just don't see myself going to. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't do well, in a strip club. I mean, it's not that I have absolutely no problems with the naked body. I've worked as a makeup artist a lot. I've seen a lot of naked women. I really don't care, but maybe it's exactly that just sheer nakedness does nothing for me. I need more.
You have to go with a group that's into it,
But then there's the other problem. Like, for example, I don't drink.
Well, I don't
drink at a strip club. Hell no.
Yeah, you shouldn't drink at a strip club. The drinks are too expensive. But I don't drink anyway. I don't know. Like the few times have been with a group of people who are just really silly about it and not.
You almost have to go to it ironically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a lot of fun, and I had a good time. I'd go again.
You also, Jamie, I don't want to throw you under the bus this, but I think the last time that you actually went with your wife.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And that's also a completely different way to go to a strip club that can be very entertaining.
Yeah, it was hysterical.
I might be willing to go with my girlfriend. Yeah,
yes.
That's something I might be willing to do.
There was this one girl who everyone was gaga over, and this bachelor party was trying to get her attention, but they weren't spending any money, and our group was. So it was me, Jim, Nellie, and Audrey. We were all at the bar. We were all at the stage handing out ones. This girl spends her last shift just hanging out and talking to Audrey.
So probably should note that Jim and Nellie are also a couple. They're friends of ours. And then the other thing that I'd like to point out, why going to a strip club at a convention is a terrible fucking idea.
Oh yeah.
This has got to be the ugliest mushroom I have drawn in my. What the fuck is the matter with me?
I don't even know what that mushroom is.
It's a dick mushroom.
It's not quite a dick mushroom, because actually there is such a thing as a dick mushroom called the devil's penis.
I'm tempted to leave it out of just the whole phallic symbolism of it.
Yeah, it's a very skinny shaft for a dick mushroom. I'm just going to say that.
Well, it's scallywags proportions.
Oh, and now it's warded. You warded it. This got warts on it. Oh, no. We're going to look at Jamie's screen for a while, which now looks like a purple vagina.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. Doing conventions, more often than not, you're away from home, you're in a hotel room, and you're sharing that hotel room with a bunch of other dudes. Sometimes dudes and ladies, too. it just happens that, like, this past year, I think all of my roommates were dudes this year. Anyhow, there's sort of like a bro code agreement of, you know what, just take the week off of quote-unquote me time. You know, no...
He's talking about masturbation.
Masturbation, yes.
He's talking about masturbation.
Yeah, stop rubbing it out. There was definitely a period this summer where O and I were on the road together for about 11 days straight. That was a miserable, miserable 11 days.
Yeah, that's a lot of time of not jerking it.
Yes. And I don't try to be the creepy dude at conventions, but there are a lot of beautiful people wearing very beautiful costumes. That alone is a strain on that type of situation. Going to a fucking strip club
is not going to make it better.
It's just like, yo, balls, I hate you this much.
I don't know, man. It's
You will find new shades of blue. 50 shades of blue. That's what you get.
The pain!
I don't know. I've just it's just it would be an awkward experience for me. A burlesque club that I would go to. I've never been to one of those either.
I've had more fun going to burlesque shows than I've had going to strip clubs.
But you see, that's the thing. A burlesque show is a show. It's the whole show. It's the whole thing.
There's entertainment. There's fun. I gotta admit too. Also, like, and I'm sorry if we have. Let me phrase this correctly. I'm sorry if our stripper friends out there are listening right now, but there's always like a touch of sadness to strippers. You know what I mean?
I think that doesn't depend. I mean, just for clarification, it's okay if you hate Dern. I mean, nobody really likes him, but you do have to put up with him if you like me. Right. But anyway, it's not what Dern is trying to say, failing, but trying to say is it's not the profession, it's the place. Sometimes, like being an exotic dancer is not like something sad in itself, but sometimes a strip club can be a very sad place.
Yeah,
I mean, not
like
all strip places are
that stink
good.
of exploitation is on with strip clubs. Like,
I mean, I would imagine that there are some good strip clubs. I've never been to one, but I would imagine that there. Well, sure, why not? There has to be.
Law of averages.
No, I mean, there's money in this. I'm pretty sure at least somebody put in like the proper amount of money and did it right.
And to be fair, I think most of our stripper fans that I'm aware of, and like this obviously is due to the fact that we can see web traffic details to some extent, are webcam girls. True story, Jamie.
Nice.
We definitely have a couple webcam girls that are fans of our stuff.
And she is beautiful, by the way.
The one that we know of the most, because she keeps dropping a link to our site every now and then, while she's, I guess soliciting is the correct word there.
While she's camming.
While she's camming, yes. While she
soliciting? That sounds like something totally different.
Yeah, that sounds like completely. Well, she's in a digitally different area. Oh wait, is that you?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna answer it.
We didn't do we did not do the betting pool this time. And
it's not getting any answers.
Okay. Is it actually your dad?
Probably.
Okay. Anyhow, she has occasionally linked comics that she likes and has sent some of the most cocked tease traffic out there, I have to imagine.
That's funny as shit, man.
Like, they're there just, hitting on her, trying to throw a little extra money for her to take her top off for a while. And she's just sending them webcomic links.
That's awesome.
Because webcomics.
Why not?
Yeah. Yes.
It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Webcomics. It's a job.
That's like our list of fan accomplishments right there. We have a webcam girl as a fan. Done.
Yeah.
We're moving up the celebrity food chain.
It is very satisfying. I do mention her a lot because I'm proud. I'm
It's
proud.
pretty rad.
Yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud. Like, look, we attract all types of audience, and here's one that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, I mean it's a digital audience, sure.
I love it. I love it, and I love her, and she's beautiful.
Oh, she's a cutie too. Yeah.
A cutie.
Yeah, there's no way I could
Well,
find
could
a
you
fan.
sound any more like an uncle here?
Yeah, I immediately go uncle mode with someone like that because it's like, oh hey, she's a fan. Okay,
She's adorable.
I respect her work. Good job there. You know,
Oh man,
give her a polite
this is
golf
one of
clap.
the moments where I wish I could do voices, like to make Dern sound like Uncle Dern. Unfortunately, voices is not something I can do. Jamie can.
That girl is adorable.
She's a sweetheart. Total sweetheart, I tell ya. The way she,
Yes, again, honey.
the way she drops trow and shakes that booty, it's adorable. I'm just saying that as good as she is, I'm probably never going to be able to be sexually attracted to her because she's now a fan and a source of traffic to us. And so I have labeled her as a business asset
Well,
and not an asset.
Stop, please, dude.
It's sad, but that
just
really is
stop.
where I am with that.
Oh, dude, don't go. Wow, it sounds worse with every single word you say.
It does, but it's honest. It's true.
Oh, wow, man. Just when I thought, like, you couldn't get any worse. Oh, man, I feel like singing that song, like, Save the Best for Last. Oh, man. Oh, well. Please, listeners, forgive us.
What's this
Wow.
us? It's all Dern.
Oh, yeah, but you see, we're a team.
What have I done that's really so wrong?
Oh, man. Oh. Let's, wow, are there any questions? Like, any questions to save the day here?
It's like, oh God, please change the topic, viewers.
Yes.
Viewers at
please,
home,
somebody, ask us
give
a
us
question.
anything.
No?
Oh
Nobody?
man.
Okay.
Well, we have the delay too. We got to remember that. But
Oh,
yeah,
man.
it's oh boy.
No, but maybe somebody listening went like, "Oh, these guys need help. Let's throw them a question," and that could have happened, but it didn't.
Nope, it did not.
Could have happened, but it didn't. Oh well.
I'm actually trying to find the list where our number of viewers is, just to make sure we are still broadcasting, right?
Ooh. Okay. Dern.
That's one of those. This is happening, right? Yeah. We got viewers. Yep, people are listening in on this.
There are people.
Yeah, they I think we have horrified silence at the moment. Is what we have.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So anyway, Jamie, how much has coloring your comic added to your workload?
It takes a lot longer.
Yeah, I didn't ask if it did. I just asked how long does it take.
More.
That's classified. That's none of your business.
So,
think like
super
an
art
hour.
fight.
I think an hour or so, 2 hours. It depends on the day. Like if I have to create digital assets, it'll take longer. Like I created the sign for Psyche's Club, that took forever, and then I had to create her tattoo because I thought I had a version of her tattoo lying around, but I didn't, so I had to recreate that and then use that. But I mean, it's like an extra hour or so.
It's not that much.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, not that much. Not that much. Are you hating it yet?
No.
No. Okay.
I mean, I just look at it as it's a mechanical thing. So it's like, once the drawing is done, it's all mechanics. Scan it, color it, scan it, color it, letter it. The hard part is writing and the first drawing. But once I've drawn it once, it's no problem to color it. So.
Nice. I've never done a black and white comic, so I don't really know much about this transition to color from not coloring comics to coloring comics.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've never done black and white.
Yeah, you wouldn't color day one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't go black and white completely. I'd probably go grayscale. But I do admire artists that can like pull off black and white and still have a very, very stylish comic there. Like, that it doesn't look like a decision made for saving time, but that it looks more like a style decision.
Mhm.
I love that. I admire a lot of artists that can do that. I'm trying to think of an example right now, but I think Derm's gonna have to rescue me on this one.
What?
Beautiful black and white comics.
Beautiful black and white comics. Frank Miller, when he's on, he'll usually like do a splash
When
of
was the last time Frank Miller
one
was
color.
on? Really?
On something.
No. On. Just on.
That was just me off the top of my head grabbing a black and white. Oh gosh. Tin Fan. He did a book that I picked up this
Oh, so
over
we're
the
off
summer.
Frank Miller?
Oh yeah, way off of him. Let me really see if I can find him up real quick here. The book was called Sumo, and I'm trying to find it. Yeah, Tin Fam did this book called Sumo, and I'm looking at it and trying to remember if it was black and white on the insides or not. It was not black and white. It was just very monochromatic. So not that one.
Okay.
Yeah. To be honest, black and white, the two main comics I read on a weekly basis are black and whites. That'd be Naruto and Bleach.
But
Yeah.
I don't know, manga in black and white. I mean, it's a very stylistic thing, but for example, my favorite mangakas, which are a little bit more old school, which are Masamune Shirow and Katsuhiro Otomo. Ghost in the Shell, Appleseed for Masamune Shirow, and Akira for Katsuhiro Otomo. I'm not saying this for your sake. I'm just saying this for the sake of the listeners,
Right.
just in case. A lot of times, like it's a very stylish, very good, very accomplished black and white, but it's not that artsy in terms of they're not really. You don't really see them like embracing the whole black and white thing and really kind of making it something that you would think, oh, there's no way like this could have color, because that's kind of like what I'm asking about here. Like, comics that you say, okay, in color, this would not even be remotely as beautiful as it is in black and white. And I don't see many mangakas like pushing the black and white to a point where you would say, oh, if this was well colored, it would lose some of its appeal.
Well, there's a guy. Forget the name. Blade of the Immortal. I love what he does with black and white. He's one of my big inspirations. So, yeah, he really uses it as an art form, like different textures and things like that.
American comics, Walking Dead, the original issues. I can't remember. Are they re-releasing those things in color?
Oh, they're
if they are,
re-releasing
they shouldn't. If they are, they shouldn't. I know there were a couple that are. I'm trying to scratch my brain and think what is getting re-released in color. Like Bone is getting redone in color, and Bone actually is better in color, if you ask me. But Walking Dead in black and white was just, it set such a bleak tone to the book that I think that's a good example.
Are you a fan of the show?
I can't stand it.
Really?
I love the comic. And it strayed so far from where the comic was, it bothers me.
I don't watch the show, but not for any reason, really. I mean, I saw season 1 and I just dropped it. I said, this really isn't for me. And pretty much what happened with Lost. I saw like the first season of Lost and just said, this ain't my thing. And I mean, not for any. I mean, I didn't see any of these shows that I'm mentioning and said like, oh, they suck. No, it's just, I watched it, didn't really think it was my thing, and
yeah, I have to agree with the assessment of it's not for me situation. It's definitely a case where, I don't want to bash the show because I know a lot of people really love it. For that matter, we got to meet Daryl over the summer, and yeah,
he's the most awesome guy.
That dude just like lives awesome. 24/7, wakes up in the middle of weird sex parties, and that doesn't even faze him. That's just his life. And, I got to respect that about him. He's going to be Yondu in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, so look for that big blue asshole. And, overall, people like the show. It's another wrinkle in the zombie world. It's not the show I wanted it to be. It's kind of like I'm pretty much refusing to watch World War Z. I just can't do it. And I hear it's actually a good zombie movie. It's just not World War Z in my head.
But you see, that's one of the things I think geeks need to
chill the fuck out about.
Yeah, like, you know what? The movie is never going to be the book. And we know this. And sometimes a movie can be good away from the book. It can happen, and...
Well, I thought Catching Fire...
I was actually going to bring that up myself. You recently actually just got to read or listen to Catching Fire after having seen the movie.
Yeah.
I got to see Catching Fire after having read the book. And I'm very curious. I did want to compare notes. Wait, let me actually first check. Have you finished reading Catching Fire?
I'm about 1/4 of finishing Mockingjay, so yeah, I'm done with Catching Fire.
Okay, all right. So Mockingjay. Okay, and I do want to know. Jamie, where is your experience on?
I've read all of them.
And seen the movie?
Yeah.
All right, let's go 6 minutes of full spoiler. For those watching at home, just either fast forward 6 minutes. Guys, when our clock goes down to 20, we'll stop talking spoilers. Okay? All right.
I'm going to talk about whatever the fuck I want.
Okay. Holy fuck, I love that adaptation. Like, they chopped out so much before the actual games. Like, they really pared down a lot of things, like... I'm trying to think of good examples here, and there were just like a lot of quiet moments, like the people trying to make it to District 13. That was one of my favorite parts in the books because they're on this quest and they're being set up as a Chekhov's gun that is supposed to be paid off a little bit later, and instead the world is just like, you know what, fuck those guys, they don't get to make it, because the life is hard there. Running cross country with two warring nations, and who the fuck knows what's outside the districts? Yeah, you're not going to make it.
I especially enjoy how they de-bitched Katniss for the movies. And I'm going to propose that as a word from now on. De-bitched.
It's more of a de-whiny bitched, right?
Well... No,
Yeah.
she's a full-blown 100% every single aspect of the spectrum bitch.
I would disagree with that because I think there are aspects of bitchiness that she doesn't do in the books that Joanna does to an extreme.
But Joanna's a delightful bitch.
Absolutely, and they left every bit of that delightful bitchiness in her character.
But Katniss she's a jealous bitch, she's a slutty bitch, she's a complaining bitch.
I'm not going to give her slutty.
No. She has been dragging these two men.
She's confused.
Okay, she's confused. Why don't you go fuck some random chick and see if saying that you are confused works for you?
She doesn't put out on either one of them.
Anybody. She just hugs them really hard.
Well, you see, thing is, think about back when you were a teenager, the significance of making out.
Here's the other thing.
Yeah.
She also has post-traumatic stress syndrome, so that's something that I never experienced in high school.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I'd just be delighted if any of these excuses is going to work. like in my life.
I do agree with her character from the standpoint of she's broken. Like, mentally, she has been destroyed. She's not a healthy person.
I mean, yeah, she has gone through a bunch of stuff and all that kind of stuff. But look, for example, at Finnick. Finnick has had it even worse. Finnick has been bought and sold.
No. Oh, I can't do this to you. We're not going to talk about Finnick.
Oh, no, I don't care what happens to him. I'm just talking about his attitude up to the point where I have read. He has had it even worse, and yet he is a much better person.
You haven't seen what's happened to him.
No, I haven't. But up
No.
to now, he's a much better person.
Up to now, according to what Katniss think has happened to him. See, that's actually the funniest thing that I have about the book is when you're reading the book, it's entirely from Katniss's point of view. So when you
That
think
is a big
about
difference with the movie.
there's a huge difference on this. In the movie, they make it very clear, particularly in Catching Fire, they make it very clear that it's the death of Rue that starts the riots in District, that's 11, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The riots start when Rue dies. When Katniss talks about it, she thinks it's because of the respect that she showed Rue. Like, there's a very solid issue there in terms of what she thought happened to start that riot versus what actually happened. If you look in the books, they think it's because Katniss thinks that. You look in the movies, it really looks like it's because, you know what? Rue got hosed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're going to rally behind Katniss because she was Rue's ally. But if you ask somebody from District 11 who started this rebellion, Rue.
Yeah, it has very little to do with Katniss.
Yeah. So I always found that amusing. That being said, Katniss I love as a character, especially because I hate her.
She is just so. I mean, she annoys me to no end.
Yes, it's because she's not the typical strong female character. She's immortal. No, she's a fucking human being that has been forced to commit murder twice in her life before she turns 19.
Yeah.
Oh no, I love like human characters. Like, dude, my favorite writer is William Gibson, and like you don't get like characters that are less perfect than a character from William Gibson. But still, like Katniss is just like, come on, really? You're gonna get angry at this guy after you, and like that is one of the things of the book that just I don't like the book any less for it.
Mm-hmm.
But every single time one of them gets like a hissy fit because maybe Katniss was hanging out with a dude, like Gale, I like Gale, but really, are you the jealous type? Yes, you are. Oh, okay. Wow.
I got to admit, life for Gale does kind of suck.
Well, life for everybody sucks.
Well, his whole romantic life, how he thought he was like doing something, like they were legit making plans to run away, and then he has to watch his girl like have this fake relationship on TV, and then she comes home and 6 months later she has to go out on her bridal tour.
Yeah, no.
And by the way, guys, still spoilers. We're way over our 6 minutes.
Yeah, let's go.
The ultimate pièce de résistance is when Peeta is like, yeah, I tapped that. We got a baby in her belly.
Yeah, let's stop Hunger Games. Let's not spoil it anymore for people. But then again, how long has this movie been out? Like, I mean, I understand. Let's not spoil the third book.
It's been out like 3 weeks.
Yeah, so
okay.
Like watch it or just just whatever.
We say that, but I'm really trying to avoid Frozen spoilers because I'm just not going to be able to see that till it comes out in home release. So I'd feel really hypocritical spoiling too much of Catching Fire.
Wow, I wish I had seen it so I could spoil it for you.
Yeah,
but
I know you wish.
I have trouble giving a fuck.
Yes.
It's cold. The movie's cold.
It's Frozen, damn it.
I mean, I've heard it's a good movie, but then I don't wish I was a little Disney princess like you do.
True. Yes.
So I have heard that it's a very good movie.
Here's the thing, that movie not only is a Disney princess movie, it's got 2 Disney princesses.
Yeah, whatever. So on to more interesting things.
That almost sounded creepy the way I said that too.
Yeah, no, it didn't almost. It definitely.
No, it definitely sounded creepy.
It sounded
not
creepy.
in a creepy way, guys. Not in a creepy way, I swear.
Yeah, that's just gonna make it worse. So
Right.
what? Just leave it. Just
Not to be creepy. I'm gonna be creepy.
Well, now I'm cracking up because also Disney's coming out with another Tinkerbell movie called The Pirate Fairy. It's a fairy that's also a pirate.
So it's about Johnny Depp.
possibly. Which again, I do have a Johnny Depp Jack Sparrow bobblehead on my table. So, yeah, again, movie made specifically for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. My review of that movie is completely suspect and biased.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
you want to do really old movie reviews?
what?
I finally saw Skyfall.
Skyfall.
Are we in the Skyfalls?
Okay, wow, okay, so tell us about Skyfall, I guess.
You know, James Bond movie, right?
Yes,
Yeah, the last
we
one.
are aware.
Yeah, okay, I'm making sure you know what the hell I'm talking about.
I saw it, like, on release.
Yeah, I don't get to go to release movies that often.
Yeah, that's your fault. Okay,
I
so
know.
Skyfall.
Did anybody else notice how it cribs its plot directly from Batman Begins, Rosebud, and Batman Begins, Citizen Kane, and Avengers. That's entirely the plot right there.
Well, if we're talking about cribbing, I mean, all of those movies crib other movies. So.
Well, I don't know how much Citizen Kane cribbed.
Right. Well,
Yeah, that was
Citizen
kind of early.
was the proto one.
Talking about stuff that is more interesting. And,
I do want to say I
whatever
love
Jern is
Skyfall.
talking about. What are your guys' thoughts on? I mean, I imagine you haven't seen it yet. I haven't either. But what are your guys' thoughts on the remake of Oldboy?
Oh man.
I'm kind of confused why Spike Lee took that project, because it sounds like a dog on paper.
Yeah,
It sounds like something not to do.
it's not something that as a director you're going to look creative for doing. It's kind of a doing remakes is not something that a director that's supposedly a creative, unique, visionary type person should ever do.
Oh yeah, I definitely did not expect that from Spike Lee, but okay, it's done. So,
okay, it's got two huge strikes against it before I've even walked in the movie, and the first one is that whole, and we still don't know exactly what the hell happened here with that designer who claimed that he got ripped off by Spike, and Spike pretty much said, you know what, I have no idea who the fuck this guy is, but not very tactfully on Twitter. Like, if Spike wanted to handle that better, how much do I have to back that up?
well,
was
I'm
a designer.
aware of what you're talking about, but I don't
Yeah,
know. What you mean.
there was a designer. He claims to have designed a couple of the very nice-looking posters that were for Old
Really?
Boy.
You thought they were nice?
Well, the ones he did actually looked a hell of a lot better than the
Oh
ones
no,
that
I
they
saw it,
went with.
and like, I mean, I'm totally on his side on this, but that's not a good poster. I mean, I'm on your side, dude. If you're listening, I'm totally on your side in terms of the argument. But damn it, that is very poorly designed.
Okay, but again, he was doing this pretty much for exposure at that point, and hoping that he'd get a bigger paycheck to make it right.
Well, they didn't have any money to give him.
And they had no money to give him, and they just took his
after the movie
designs.
did so well, or did it?
Yeah,
Well, the movie just came out. I don't think it's.
it was a flop.
It bombed
It
hard.
bombed hard. It got its ass kicked by Catching Fire and two Disney princesses in one movie.
I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of, though. Like, getting your ass kicked by the second Hunger Games movie and a Disney movie is not really anything to, like...
Unless
Yeah.
you're Spike Lee.
Except-
I mean, it's not like getting your ass kicked by,
Were either of those movies off the top of your head going for any male demographic? On paper, no, they weren't.
But you see...
In reality, Catching Fire did take a huge male demographic because dudes aren't actually afraid of watching chicks kick ass.
Yeah, not in Hunger Games.
No.
Definitely not in Hunger Games. Like, you're gonna get dudes that don't want to be dragged to Twilight, but Hunger Games is something you don't have to drag us to. But no, what I was about to say is, like, today I was watching a review of Oldboy, and one of the things the reviewer said hit it right on the nail, and he said, like, Spike Lee is one of the great American directors, and I thought to myself, yeah, he's about as American as you can get. You know, he really isn't that. I mean, he is relevant in the rest of the world, but not as much. Not as much as he is to you guys. He's definitely a lot more important to you. than he is to the rest of us.
Yeah.
That's true.
But I mean, seeing what he's done and what he apparently believes himself to be,
he's got such an overblown opinion of himself.
It did kind of surprise me that he would be doing a remake.
Yeah. Ultimately, and here's the other strike, is in that remake, oh boy, we all know the one-take fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently in the remake, there's an edit in the middle of it.
Oh, well, no, today I read something about that fight that makes a lot of sense, even though it's nitpicking. And it's the guy reviewing it, which, by the way, is a reviewer that, I'm sorry if you're listening, but I hate you. Because he has, and again, I'm sorry if any of our listeners has a very thick Bostonian accent, but that is one of those accents that I can just not deal with.
Oh, wait.
He
reviews it in a podcast format?
He reviews it. He reviews for The Escapist, a video gaming website. His name
Escapist.
is. Okay, whatever. Anyway, he was saying, and I mean, the thing is, he's a great reviewer. I just can't stand his accent.
What's great is that somehow, and I know you cannot physically do this, if you guys rewind it right now and listen to the way O just said reviewer, he actually slipped into the Boston accent. You actually said reviewer.
Okay. And anyway,
yeah.
So the guy was saying that that scene makes a lot of sense in the movie, in the original movie, because South Korea apparently is one of the countries that has some of the most stringent gun laws in the world. So it makes a lot of sense that a bunch of like thugs and criminals would be going at him with bats and stuff like that, because there's not that easy access to guns in South Korea, but that in the U.S. and Louisiana, where apparently the movie takes place, that it makes absolutely no sense that a bunch of criminals would be going against the guy with a bunch of bats and stuff like that. That if he was going to do the
hold on. You're talking about a movie where a guy gets locked into a box for 20 years. I think logic goes out the window.
No, it's a fair point on both sides. I think you could have done an over-the-top, one-take scene with everybody gunfighting instead of bats and knives, right?
No, it's just that what he was saying is that there's a lot of stuff in the movie, in the original movie, that makes sense because it's in Korea. Stuff like, okay, let's go to all these places that sell dumplings and identify the flavor of them, and that if you're going to adapt it and in that adaptation take it to another country and all that, there are some things that you're going to have to change.
Right.
And if you don't change them, they stop working for the movie, and then comes the question, why are you even doing them? Like if you're not going to change anything, why are you doing it again?
Yeah.
And I thought it made a lot of sense what he was pointing out. Like, yeah, if you're not going to change anything out of respect for the original movie, why not go all the way and just not do it?
Yeah.
I think they shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because I love, I am a big fan of some remakes, especially of much older movies that maybe need to be kind of brought to a new generation, and that might not be able to put up with all the stuff from the older version of the movie. But
no, bring it back around. Skyfall is essentially a remake. It's a relaunching of James Bond's character, and honestly, it might be the best James Bond out there.
Well, I would agree that Daniel Craig is.
No, and it's just that movie by itself might be the best Bond movie out there. I mean, it pairs away a lot of the baggage of previous films, but then it has all these weird 50-year nods to different parts of his character. Like, it gives you back Moneypenny, it gives you back Q, it gives you back the coat rack and the padded door from the early Sean Connery films. It brings back the old Austin Martin. It wrecks certain things that earlier versions of the film did terribly. Like, why the fuck was Bond ever drawing an Audi? That always bothered me. Like, no, he's fucking British. He drives, Jaguars and shit like that. British cars. But an Audi, no, Bond doesn't drive German cars. And they actually wreck an Audi in the first act to sort of intentionally say, you know what, fuck that film. He walks into a gambling place, and nowhere do you see Texas Hold'em because again, fuck that moment in film. And it has all these nice touches, but at the same time, that Bond that we see is a deranged sociopath, is falling apart, is probably not supposed to be out in the field, and they pare away a lot of like the misogyny and the constant quippery, the bad puns. And weird fact, you guys might not believe this, I don't like the cheesy puns in Bond films.
You are a liar.
It can get, when you get to the point of Roger Moore Bond, it's too fucking far. I mean, some of those scripts read like Batman and Robin.
You are a liar.
I don't think he's lying. I'm just thinking, Dern, you're not entitled to not like puns. It's just
yeah.
I know, and
you
it's
have
weird.
no moral ground to stand on.
I know, but it's I don't like puns and misogyny being at that level.
Okay, no, wait. Just for clarification, okay, you do have the moral ground for not liking the misogyny, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Just
okay.
So, like
that
people
one
are like,
I can.
oh, I didn't know Dern was.
That one you get, but puns.
I get that one.
Yeah.
I just can't throw puns in the
we'll
same
let you
box.
keep that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't get
Dern
puns.
is nice to women, even though he called them a business asset. He's nice to women.
She's a delightful business asset.
Oh, that just makes it better.
Yes. Delightful makes anything better.
Yeah. But Dern is nice to women. I've seen him. He's almost a pleasant person.
I'd like to clarify. I'm almost a pleasant person, whether you're a chick or dude. That is an asexual almost pleasantness.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just talking in general. Like you're almost pleasant to be around.
Yes, thank you.
Like, I mean, I can think of people worse than Dern.
This is why I tolerate you, though.
People worse than Dern.
Well, Hitler.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah. Why not?
Fuck you
Why
and
not?
fuck Hitler. Yeah.
Yeah, well, why not? Yeah.
I mean, he was a good painter, yes, but
No, he wasn't.
Well, that's why he got kicked out of art school and became insane.
I know.
Yeah, he was not.
Actually, I don't know. I really don't know my art history of Hitler.
That would be. Wouldn't it be amazing if that were like a major in some college, like
the Hitler era of art?
Well, I'm not Hitler era of art, but definitely like Hitler art history. And today we will see the great classics. I guess in that class we wouldn't call him Hitler; we'd call him Adolf. In that class. But still, anyway, okay. I would say that Katniss is worse than you.
Okay, I'm now worse than a genocidal maniac and a fictional character.
Wait! I never said you were not worse than Hitler. You said
you gave me Hitler,
no.
though. But yes,
no.
You agreed.
I kind of hinted towards
Yeah.
it, but I'm not entirely convinced.
Jamie, can I get the
I don't
better
think
than Hitler stamp of approval?
Would that be your slogan? Like, Dern, he's better than Hitler.
Yeah,
Jamie, you give me that?
you get that one,
Okay, 5 more points to Jamie.
but you don't get puns.
We're at 4 minutes to go. Jamie has a stark and a massive lead.
Yeah, that would have ground if this was just like you in charge of things here, but you're not. So yeah, you can quit that.
My finger is hovering over the volume control right now.
Dude, we are going to have a serious talk after this show because you gotta stop doing that shit. Yeah, you better stop doing that shit. We're gonna have a serious talking to after this show.
It hovers.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh yeah. So yeah. I am downright delightful to be with.
Dude, you just have to go too far.
Mm-hmm.
You just had to go too far.
Yep.
We could play along before, but delightful?
Yep.
Wow. I'm not sure about that one. Delightful is just such a strong word. Like, I think about things that are delightful.
Puppies, kittens.
I was thinking more along the terms of let's see, Jamie.
Well, Jamie is delightful, yes.
No. I'm asking him what he thinks is delightful.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Common Writer. My
Okay.
list is very small.
How up to date are you on Kamen Rider right now, Jamie?
I'm up to date. Well, there are some that I haven't finished, but I'm up with the current ones. So
Okay. I immediately regretted asking that question because there was a moment in my head I'm like, oh shit, what if he hasn't been watching it for years?
oh no,
your street cred, your Kamen Rider street cred.
I'm up to date with Gaim, the fruit samurai.
That's right. For those that don't have any idea what Kamen Rider is, just don't even explain it. Just explain the premise of this season.
So this season, it's based on a guy who can who turns into samurai armor basically from the Sengoku era, and all the armors are based on fruit. It is not the best season.
I'm glad you clarified that.
Yes.
It is not what I would call a good show for beginners to jump on and learn about Kamen Rider.
See, the sad thing is that one particular season is the one I want to watch the most.
Really?
Yes. You know, it's not Fruit Ninja, it's Fruit Samurai.
Yeah. Well, they're doing some interesting things that make it kind of like the Sengoku era, where like allegiances change on the dime and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it took a while to get into it, but like after the first 4 episodes are kind of weak. But like right around episode 5 or 6 is where it kind of starts to get its feet. So it's getting better. It's just not a good one to start with.
It's a bit interesting. And then, okay, give us a quick overview of what Kamen Rider is. For somebody who has no idea. Who doesn't also understand Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically Power Rangers, but instead of having a team of warriors who transform, it's a single warrior, usually against an evil organization that has minions or monsters, and they fight for great justice.
And that is the time. Okay. Now we're done, and O is trying to explode small children outside of his apartment.
Nah. Hate December.
Yes. Wait. Did you just say hate this summer?
Hate December.
Okay.
Hate
All right,
December.
thank
I
you.
hate Christmas. I hate the holidays. I hate children.
Okay. We'll let Scrooge go first and describe his happy little tree.
I made a note to how much I hate children. Like, I fucking want to stomp them into the ground. God damn it, do you have to play outside of my apartment all the time? They're like cats. You know that cats always...
9:40 where you're at right now. 9:40 p.m. They should be home.
They should always be home until they're 20. Like, you spawn that little brat, you keep him until he's 20.
So we're clear.
Anyway.
The old boy childhood system is how you would want it. Just put them in a box the moment they're born. They don't come out until they're 20.
Yeah, but stuff them into a fake hotel room, make them punch a wall for 20 years, then he can come out.
Okay. So
That's a plot to a movie.
yes.
So anyway, I went with the kind of happy little tree person thing going on here. If you watch from the beginning, I went with a little experimental abstract color technique where basically you just start with a big blotch of paint and just see where it takes you. And yeah, it's a nice and relaxing way to paint, and there you have it. A nice little kind of tangled farce thing.
And we do have to zoom in on the penis mushroom and note that you did decide to change that.
I changed it, but in my defense, I did not change it because of penile reasons. I changed it because, penis or not, it just was kind of a lame-looking mushroom.
Yeah.
It didn't really look good, penis or not, so kind of changed it anyway.
Okay, and now let's take a look over at Jamie's happy little tree, which is definitely more along the lines of your Venus flytrap. Yes.
He's happy because he ate a person.
Yeah. Jamie, and I think I saw this in the last couple minutes of drawing. Did you opt to filter at the last second there?
I did. So I created a. Here, let me show you what this layer is. So this is just a layer of static.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you bring it down and turn it to like overlay, it gives it a little bit more texture, so it seems like a photograph kind of.
Okay.
So it's just an enhancement technique.
I love these moments where we openly pretend to be educational. Yes. It's good.
Well, it's I don't know.
I realize with me asking the questions, it's really just like a trained monkey saying, "Huh, it looks like you got some colors on there. Tell me about it." And it's just open-ended enough that you guys actually give legitimate good answers to my questions.
Well, it's just because I mean, it's they're not technically bad questions. They're just. I mean, you are stupid. Don't get me wrong, but stupid people can sometimes ask good questions.
And non-stupid people can also ask good questions too. So on that note, before we fully close things down, I will remind people, if you have any last-minute questions that you want to throw at us, hit them on the comments to the YouTube page, and we can get to them. Also, if you have comments possibly for next week's episode, you can post them to us there as well. Next week, we should have a very interesting sketchcast, in that we're not entirely sure what time it's going to broadcast. I still have to hammer this down with our guest, but Blair of the comic Star-Crossed Destiny will be our main artistic guest. Depending on what time we go, Jamie, I think you might be our surprise guest. So, surprise.
That's
and
not a surprise.
if we go at our normal 8 o'clock time, Jamie definitely will be with us. There is a chance we might instead be broadcasting at 5 p.m. EST. Again, can you give me the world time for that one?
-5 GMT.
All right. So is that like noon GMT, right? Or no, that's 10 o'clock GMT, isn't it? 10 p.m.?
No.
How do you do that?
I don't know. It's just -5 GMT. It's whatever hour it is at Greenwich Meridian time, -5. So whatever, that would be 1 a.m. -5.
Huh, okay. 1 a.m.?
Well, 1 a.m. is 13, -5, that's 8.
Oh, 1 p.m. is 13.
Well, yes, but, you know, just for math. For math, right? Like 1
So it's going to
a.m.
happen. It'll happen next Sunday. And then after that show, I believe we are actually going to be taking the next 3 weeks off. Looking at my
You're going to be
calendar.
listening anyway, so...
Yes. Yeah, in 2 weeks, it's the weekend before Christmas. In 3 weeks, it's the weekend before New Year's. And in 4 weeks, it's the weekend of MagFest in National Harbor, which, Jamie, I believe you're also attending?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be selling stuff, but I think I'm going to be hanging out.
Which, by the way, listeners and viewers, I guess this is viewers, not listeners. By the way, viewers that are listening, just to clarify, we will be taking a break for Christmas. This does not mean I give a fuck about Christmas.
True. This just means we're tired.
Yeah. I just don't want the world thinking that I give a fuck. But we are aware that most of you will probably be giving fucks, receiving fucks, hopefully.
One would hope.
Yeah, one would hope. Give a fuck for Christmas and get a fuck.
And worst case
Christmas.
scenario, give a fuck to yourself.
I don't know. I mean, would you call it like fucking yourself?
Well, I would just say, oh, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that would work better.
Yes.
Definitely work better. But I don't know, man. If you tell me go fuck yourself, I really don't consider it a masturbation invitation.
Why shouldn't it be, though?
Because I'm not really fucking myself. I'm not.
You are if you're doing it right.
Well, how are you doing it?
I just broke you there, didn't I?
like, what are you doing?
Well, if you're David Carradine.
Oh, okay. Wow, you went there. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And yet, I do not consider he was fucking himself. He was touching.
Well, at the end, he was pretty fucked.
Oh, he done fucked up. But he was touching himself. I wouldn't say that he was fucking himself. This is a beautiful way to end the show, by the way. I hope both of the people watching us are enjoying this last part of the show. Like both of you, yeah, like you are the true fans, whoever you are.
We have definitely more than two, but they are all in stunned, quiet silence. I might assume that a large chunk of them have since muted them to stop putting up with my shit and just look at the pretty pictures. So with that lovely note, let's get some closing thoughts. Hit us with what you got.
I'll just see you people next week. Yeah. Check out the comic. It's it's a thing, and definitely. I hope you enjoyed the show, and never say goodbye, stuff like that.
Yep. Okay, Jamie.
And give a fuck.
Okay, and Jamie, please give us a shilling.
I'm actually going to be at an event this Saturday. It's called Be More Into Comics. And do we have a website for that?
I'm not sure if there's a website. It'll be at the Wind Up Space in Baltimore, Maryland, which is part bar and part space. So there will be lots of webcomicers selling stuff and probably drinking as well. I know Monica Gallagher is going to be there. Danielle Corsetto, I believe, is also confirmed. I really would love to be there myself, but I had to cancel at the last minute myself. So yes. I fully endorse that event. Go check it out and do all your Christmas shopping at Be More Into Comics.
Yay!
Yes. And then the stuff that you can't find at Be More Into Comics because you were looking for me, go to swagshark.com and pick up some of our holiday deals. That's like a show. We good? All right, I'm going to hit the stop broadcast now. See you guys later.